Hello, and welcome back to High Impact Relationships. This video is on active listening, and it's the third in a series on active listening. Quick recap. In the first video on active listening, we looked at what it means to be a good listener. Don't make it about you, make it about them. Don't fix, solve, or advise. Don't try to be brilliant, just be there and listen. And because we're actively listening, we always want to check out, how is it that I'm hearing? Am I hearing you okay? Am I understanding? And then in the second video, we looked at the anatomy of active listening. And we have things like mirroring, which is repeating back what it was that you heard. And then we have reflecting, which is reflecting back more than what you heard, what was implied perhaps, or your gut sense, but beyond just what you heard. And the last part of active listening was the validation, making people okay, no matter where they are, for what's going on. Unconditional, positive regard. Can you make somebody feel all right for their stance? So in this video today, we're going to be looking at a vignette between a boss and his employee. And we're going to take this vignette and we're going to reflect back on it several times. We're going to look back on it. And each time we look back on it, we're going to look at it from just a slightly different perspective, hopefully a fresh new way to see the same conversation. But before we demonstrate good active listening, let's take a look at some bad examples of active listening. In this first vignette, we have a self-centered boss and a troubled employee. Let's see what happens. Thank you, Amanda. I heard that you had some things you need to share with me. Go for it. What do you got?
Yeah. Thank you for making time for it. It's been very difficult to get into your schedule lately. I want to talk to you about a few things that have been difficult here. I really feel invisible to you. Like I've been sending you emails and I don't get answers. I've been doing a lot of work here. I've been doing the work of 3 people. And you know that you have a person in my team that's away for maternity leave. She's not coming back anytime soon. I'm exhausted. And there's so much happening. I'm so tired to the point that when I get home, my family doesn't recognize me anymore. I don't have time for anything at home. I barely eat and then I go back to the office. And yeah, it's been frustrating, very frustrating.
I get it. Makes sense?
And?
It makes sense. In this next video, let's watch the boss redirect the conversation and turn the spotlight onto him.
Yeah, it's been frustrating, very frustrating.
Oh, Amanda, absolutely. I understand. I mean, I'm working for the board of directors and all my initiatives, they don't respond to me. I feel like I'm doing the work of 20 people. And home life, I sleep on the couch sometimes. So, yep, I totally get where you come from. Makes sense.
So now we're making it about you.
Yeah, I guess so. So I hope in those first 2 examples that it became evidently clear, painfully clear, that there was no attempt at demonstrating any kind of understanding. Another way to think about active listening is it's demonstrated listening. So in the next example, you're going to see the leader reflect back and mirror back what was said, and then leave the choice of the direction up to his employee. Let's watch. So Amanda, what I hear you saying to me is that you feel invisible, like I'm not paying attention to you and that I don't answer the emails and that you don't have the same time you had with me before. But also, I hear that you're overworked and you've got somebody on maternity leave and they're not coming back anytime soon. And that because there's no problems, you don't see anything changing because you're handling it. But also that your home life is suffering because of it. That, you know, your family's not there for you. Sorry, you're not there for your family as much. And that's really important to you. Of those areas that I heard, let me just check first. Was I accurate in what I heard?
Yes, exactly. You got the points right.
Which one's the most important one for today's meeting? Which one would you like to focus on for today?
Ooh, that's a good question. I really feel like we could talk about how I can approach you in a way that I get the support that I need and I can do the work that I need. It's for me, it's being about feeling supported. So I really want to touch on that.
Okay, makes sense. That my lack of response to you makes you feel unsupported, and that you want to try to figure out a way that you can feel supported and valued in this company.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I need too for you. So I want you to feel valued and supported. So thank you for bringing it up, and let's make sure we get time on the calendar to figure out ways to make that happen.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Next, we're going to look at the script of the employee's feedback. And we're going to look at it in thirds. The first section is about frustration with the leader. The second section is about doing extra work and not being recognized. And the last section is about home life and the quality of the home life going down. By focusing on different sections, the leader is actually choosing the direction of the conversation. So in this first example, the leader is going to look at the first part of her feedback and we'll watch what direction the conversation takes now. So thank you. Amanda, I hear you have some things you want to share with me.
Yeah. You know, it's been difficult lately. I've been very, very busy and I've been trying to reach out to you, but I feel invisible. You don't answer my emails, you prioritize other people, and you seem to not have time for me. It's been difficult.
Thank you. Not always easy to hear that, but I appreciate you sharing. What I hear you saying is, I'm not responding to your emails, privileging other people in other meetings. And you don't have the space to come to me to bring me the problems that you see in the company. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
No, that's it.
That's it. Okay, well, I have a different viewpoint. Would it be okay if I shared mine?
Yeah, please.
You're absolutely right. I sometimes don't return your emails. And sometimes I don't privilege you because I'm working with other people. But it's because I trust you. And I know that you'll get it done. And so the lack of emails isn't ignoring, it's an indication that you're not somebody I have to handhold anymore. You're excellent at your job. And I want to see if we can figure a way to empower you to solve these problems that come up, because I don't want you to keep bringing them to me. And if you feel like you're not ready, I'm definitely there to support you, but just know that in the end, I want you to be able to solve the problems rather than surface them and have me deal with them.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. It's really reassuring to hear how you value my work and how much you trust me. It gives me a different perspective. And I really would like to feel empowered to solve these things that we've been navigating lately. So I really appreciate you allowing time for us to brainstorm on a few things that could make our connections more efficient and more useful for both of us. So yeah, I appreciate you understanding that.
You bet. Thank you for bringing it up. And I do value you, and I want you most importantly to feel valued. And if you're not, that's something I need to work on.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. In this next section, the leader's going to choose to focus on the middle section, where she's talking about doing too much work and not being recognized. And watch where the conversation goes now. So what I heard you say, Amanda, in the points that you made, is also that you are doing the work of multiple people. And there's no mistakes happening. And because there's no mistakes happening, there's no red flags going, warning, warning. So maybe there's no reason to change anything, but also that it's too much, that you just have too much on your plate.
I do. I definitely do.
So what do you see as some options?
That's why I wanted to have time to talk to you. And it's so good to hear that question. Not only I need more staff, but I need to have more empowerment with finance, like I need people to know that I can make some decisions that I'm not being able to make, that I depend on you to make the decision. So yeah, I think that would help.
So you know that I've told you that you're empowered, but you're not getting that experience. So I'll tell you what, how about if at the next all hands meeting, I announce that you've got the finance department, that people should stop coming to me and that you have the final say. Would that work?
Oh, that would work. Yeah, definitely.
Then my request would be that if I do that and you have any hints of a problem, that you come to me and you share the problems with me before they happen.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That with more people to support me on the admin stuff, that would be great.
And I heard you say more headcount.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's bring it up and we'll put time on the calendar and see if we can bring this to resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
In this third section, the leader's going to choose to focus on the last section of her feedback, where she talks about the quality of her home life and it going down and her family missing her. And then watch the direction the conversation takes when the leader makes this choice. So I heard you say several things about being invisible and doing a lot of work, but the one that really hit me is when you said that the quality of your home life is going down, that you get home and you're tired, and that your family misses you, they don't know where you are. And that's got to be really hard. I'm just checking in. Am I getting it right?
Yes, you are. It's been really hard. I'm feeling like a failure everywhere, at work and at home.
Wow. So you feel like you're failing at work and at home. And part of that is me not paying attention to you and responding to emails, but also your family's frustrated with you. So in no place do you get the recognition that you want. And I would imagine that it's really hard for you to find a place to relax and let go.
Yeah, I can't let go lately. I've been really stressed.
Well, let's make sure we make that a priority and figure out how you can get some time to let go, because I want you to know that you're valued, and that I want to make sure that your home life doesn't suffer because you're an employee here.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really feel heard now. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I know it probably wasn't easy to bring it up, but I do want to say I thank you and I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. So to recap what you've seen today, we've taken one conversation, one complaint, and we've looked at it from 4 different perspectives. Each time, we turned our perspective, we created and guided a different direction for the conversation to go. One thing to know is that it's not just 4 directions. There are limitless directions. Once you understand active listening, the potentials and options are limitless. We also don't use active listening 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We use it as a tool to create a desired outcome at the appropriate time, such as creating connection between people. Because of this, it has its place in therapy, counseling, and coaching. Also, we can use it to break through log jams. Because of this, it has a place in the corporate environment, building team morale, increasing resilience, and creating an intentional future, team alignment. It also has its place in the field of conflict mediation. Active listening has been used in grievances, helping all parties come together to create an intentional and desired outcome. It's been used at the United Nations and at World Peace Summits. And of course, to give credit where credit's due, active listening has its roots with Carl Rogers in client-centered therapy and the work of Marshall Rosenberg and nonviolent communication. And finally, let's hear from the 2 presenters as they drop their characters and discuss what it was like being in this role play. So thank you for the role play, Amanda. That was really, really helpful. I'm just curious, what came up for you during the role play?
Thank you, Chris, for having me here. It was really fun. What stood out to me was in the first part, when you're not listening me well, I had to access a lot of frustration in me to role play. And I noticed my frustration increasing as you were not listening to me, as you were making it about you instead about me. So I noticed my body contracting and I noticed my frustration, like, why am I even here talking to you? Even though it was a role play.
And that you felt really different when we started using mirror, reflect, and validate, and I started carrying it through. To me, you felt different.
It felt differently inside of me. It was very different. When you listen to me, when you understand what I'm saying, my body starts to relax immediately. I feel like, okay, then I can feel the back of my chair. Okay, I was not feeling that before. And then as you listen and as you give me options on where to go, or as you listen deeply to certain parts of the conversation, I feel openness. And I feel like we have more possibilities than we had before.
Yeah. It's interesting because I can do the bad listening and not be connected to you, right? It's just like, yeah, okay, what time is it? Whatever. But as soon as I had to stop and really hear you, I felt it, right? When you said I'm a failure at home and at work, which was new in this role play that we've been doing, I really felt that in me. So in order for me to feel that in me, I have to be connected to you. And that's one of the things about this work in listening, to create a high impact relationship, to create a relationship that can take a hit and be okay, that can be shook a little bit, means that I'm there for you and that you're here for me. We're not trying to get it done this way, right? And so it forced me to come into contact with you, and I felt different. So even though it was a role play, to actually mirror, reflect, and validate what you're saying puts me in contact with you. And that's really part of high impact relationship, is the contact between people.
And allow people to be themselves and allow people to be authentic and to repair relationships and to make things work. So yeah, it's really, really valuable, this framework. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I appreciate all your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Thank you. I hope you've enjoyed this series on active listening 1, 2, and 3. And if you're interested in active listening 4, the ninja level, please comment. And if you've enjoyed this, please hit the subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you in a future series. Thanks.